I had to cast this to Game of StarCraft instead. And, well, spawning in the top left position of the map that is Akilon Wastes, we have our red Zerg player currently up 1-0 in this best of 3. It is LiquidRet. And spawning in the bottom right position as the blue Protoss player, as, well, it's going to be from Team IG, it is iGJim. So, I'm curious as to what Ret's going to do this game. I know he's going to be greedy. I know. My mind tells me that I want Ret to do something really crazy. I want him to go ham, but sadly that won't be the case this game. So I'm wondering what iGJim is going to be doing. He's the guy that's kind of had my interest peaked. He's, you know, he's not a one build guy. He showed in the first game that he would play with the Gateway expand, but I mean, we saw in his PvT that he could play for against SEC, that he could play for a really nice, how should I say, macro game. So, interesting things to really keep in mind in these situations. Now, I feel like he is going to try to go for the Nexus first, which against Ret, yeah, you almost always can go Nexus first. Like, even if Ret opened up with a fast pool, the odds of him actually making a lot of lings is going to be a bit difficult. And, well, there's that probe heading over. He's going to start that natural Nexus. I think he's going to go Forge first. Yeah, he doesn't want to take any chances. I think that's smart. Don't take chances. Just put the Forge down, then get your Nexus. This way you're not in as quite as risky of a position. So, I think with these couple Zerglings, yeah, he's not going to do too much. So I am thinking right now with this Forge opening, I assume that iGJim's going to go Stargate again, just because that's a very standard way of playing it. But I feel like if he did something a little bit different, I could also kind of go for that sort of setup. I think Ret, even though he opened with the pool, will probably go for the fast third hatchery. And by that I mean he's building the fast third hatchery, so nothing unusual there at all. He is just moving in. He cannon going up for iGJim. So this is pretty standard setup here. He's going to get the Cyber Core when the gate's done. And I'm going to say this is probably just going to be Stargate. If iGJim does anything else other than Stargate, it's probably going to be some form of all-in. Like really, really fast +2 Blink Stalker build, which actually isn't terrible on this map. Or a Sentry Immortal play. Not quite as good. Guess it can work, but no one really does it anymore. Anyway, he's got the gas saturated in the main base. There's nothing unusual happening here for the most part, so it's just kind of whatever. But the third hatchery is gonna be done soon. And Ret, he's just being Ret. Yeah, it's drones everywhere. Not a drop to drink. And there's that Stargate. Oh, did Ret scout that already? That is nice. Ret scouted that super fast. That is actually really, really nice. See how fast he's able to spot that. He does. There are ways to abuse it as a Zerg player, and I don't think Ret will. He's not going to go for like really fast Hydralisks and try to do an all-in with Hydras before there can be Robotech out. But knowing is half the battle, and he can have spores preemptively set up. He can defend against it pretty well. If Ret takes any amount of damage from the Stargate play, I'm going to be just a little bit disappointed because he scouted it, I guess, is what I mean when I say all of that. So just a bunch of drones. Getting up double extractor now. And this is standard. And he's going to be able to go for that. Yeah, he went for the 6-minute gas. Super, super normal. You see him. I think he might actually skip Zergling speed, though, because he scouted the Stargate. He might just go straight for Lair. And he could try to get up to Hydralisks very quickly. I don't think he'll do that. But he has shown a tendency to favor the Hydralisks, so it's not an awful decision. And we did see the last game where where he went for a lot of Phoenix and tried to do a lot of pressure with them into Stargate play, that Ret just kind of rolled him completely once he got a real army set up. So not bad at all. So building up the Phoenix count. Ret, he sent out 2 drones. Ret, wait. This has to be a mistake. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Am I this tired? Ret, what are you doing? Ret, stop. That's weird. Anyway. We have the lair about to finish up for our Liquid Zerg player. Evolution Chamber as well. And Zergling speed. So that's pretty normal. And I feel like he's not on a Roachborn. It's probably going to be a Hydralisk Den once he hits lair, which wouldn't surprise me at all. Pretty standard way to play this out. And the Phoenix coming in here, going to grab one of these queens, immediately going for the second one at the same time. And that's actually going to cause him to need a 3rd lift, actually, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he can actually kill that queen anymore. Nope, he'll need to lift it once again. And, yeah. He's just killing off drones, but Ret's like, okay, my counter to the drone killing is going to be to build more drones. He still hasn't done anything with these drones on the right side. These are the loneliest drones ever, and I mean, they don't look like they're engaging in Quatus, but I don't know, man. Seen some weird stuff lately. Jim, though, he's coming in with these Phoenix. He's trying to put some pressure on here. But there's a Spore Crawler. He's going to see that Spire. He sees the Hydralisk Den, researching that range upgrade. And, you know, once you see that, you need to be on top of switching out of the Stargate Tech and into the Robo. So we do see the Robotics Bay finally beginning now for Jim. He will be able to move into Colossi. That 3rd Nexus is on the way. And the Constructible Rock Tower has been knocked over. So I was hoping for some double proxy hatches. That would actually be pretty awesome. But selling not too much else. And Jim's actually gone for 6 Phoenix. He's doing the same exact style as the last game, in all honesty. He's going for the Void Rays, Colossus. And it's not like it's bad, but it's like he doesn't have a lot of units. When you play for that kind of army setup, you don't have anything to buffer really until that's completely set up. And then you're just relying on basically being pure Colossi Void Ray, where the Void Rays kill everything in the sky and the Colossi kill everything on the ground before it can get close enough. So it makes things quite difficult. And the Phoenix is doing their thing. +1 flyer attacks on the way for Ret. We do have the Hydralisks coming out now as well. So, I mean, Ret has options available to him. He can go for a decent bit of aggression, but Colossus production does begin now, and this is going to help Jim in terms of dealing with the Hydralisks. The Colossi just shred them. Does Jim even know about this 4th base? Okay, he does. So, that's good. He sees the drones moving over as well. Sometimes the preview's semi-derp. But, yeah, he's just running around in a second. He's going to have this Colossus out now, finally. Little Colossus on the field. And a lot of Corruptors are going to be coming out for Ret. So this is going to help him in terms of trying to overpower this. He's actually going to go for the Corruptor Mutalisk style. Very interesting, especially since he did build a couple Hydras. So I feel like Ret got this to deal with the Phoenix. And I like this because you force your opponent off of Phoenix and then you move into Mutalisks. Mutalisks obviously are good versus Colossi, but more importantly, Phoenix are really, really good versus... Void Rays, so Corruptors maybe not so good, but they can try to help fight the Colossi, and you can keep your opponent at bay. But these Phoenix come in and harass. They're just going to pick them up. They don't really care too much about the Spore Crawlers. It's like, okay, well, pick you up, kill you. Still hasn't lost any of these Phoenix all game long. He is doing just fine for himself. Whoop. Speak too soon. The Corruptors are here. Oh, no, he lost to Phoenix. Well, now I should probably retire from casting. 12 Mutas on the way now for Ret. Nothing unusual here. +1 attack is about to finish up, and with that bounce attack, of course, is going to be much more powerful. But until Extended Thermal Lance is done, he's going to have to keep it to himself, right? You can't show off that Thermal Lance if it's only 6 range. It's not very impressive. Someone's going to laugh. And Ret's going to come in here with these Mutalisks now towards this 3rd base of Jim. A lot of probes are falling, and Jim, he's trying to bring the Phoenix in, but the Corruptors are here to tank. Now, this is where the Void Rays can become useful again. They can use our Prismatic Alignment, try to take out the Corruptors as much as they can, but You know, those Corruptors tank so well for the Mutas. The Phoenix are going to have a really, really difficult time to actually be able to get in on this this force. And we actually have Ret pushing in the front with his Hydralisks as well, picking off a Photon Cannon, which is nice because it's going to actually allow Ret to dive a little bit with his Hydralisks, with his Corruptors, and now he's moving in. There are a good number of Void Rays, but they're not that great versus the Mutalisks. The problem is these Phoenix are still a very big threat, and he can always retreat. He can kite with the Phoenix. That's what makes it so difficult to deal with them. I'm not really sure how much more Ret's going to commit to this. He's just going to go for the Mass Muta. He doesn't care. He's just going to produce Mutalisks non-stop, and this is a very difficult to deal with style. It requires an incredibly good bit of micro from the Protoss player with the Phoenix, especially before you get the range upgrade. And now he's just going to move in, though. There's no area of effect damage. He's just going to try to win with sheer numbers of Mutalisks here. And Ret, his supply is holding strong. The Corruptors are aiding in this fight as well, and now things are looking a bit dire, warping in mass waves of Stalkers. This is not what you want to do. The Phoenix are not going to be enough. There's nothing here to stop this force from pushing through now. There's so much here for Ret. The supply is dipping quite quickly for Jim. All of his army, no anti-air left. He can go straight for these Colossi. The Corruptors are going to be left to deal with those. The Phoenix that are being produced right now are just not going to be enough to deal with this many Mutalisks. He doesn't have the range upgrade. There we go. GG from Jim, and Ret is going to take this series 2-0 over Jim. So Jim is going to be sent down to the losers game, the losers match, and excuse me, the final match. Jim will go to the final match. Well, he will play the winner of STC versus White Raw. So our next match is going to be Complexities, the STC versus White Raw, and I think we might actually play that on the NA server. So we'll get into that game as soon as we can, guys. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the Ritmix RSL Season 5 Group B. Losers match between White Raw and STC is coming up shortly.